Dear Diary, what an eventful week. Every single time I sit down at my computer and start recording and look at the notes I have for the week, I think, for the most part, except for a couple weeks here and there, I think, wow, day to day, not a lot of stuff seems like it happens. Like, oh, I might go see my brother or I might go play pickleball. But then, like, a week goes by and I'm like, shoot, I had 2 dates. I had a killer win at chess. I started playing the keyboard a little bit. I played pickleball multiple times with different people. Like, I'm looking at this week and I'm like, wow, I actually did like a decent amount of stuff. So I'm excited to break it down for you guys, tell you what's up, tell you what's going on in my life, what's the hap. So sit down, relax, and come live a parasocial friendship with me. First things first, I think almost a week ago at this point, I want to say Saturday night, and I always record Friday night. So Saturday night, I went to the drive-in theater with a date. I met her on Hinge. She was 35. She was cute. I was like, I don't care that she's 7 years older. I mean, I go 7 up or 7 down. That's what happens when you're desperate, ladies and gentlemen. And she had kids, and she was spunky and fun and cool. And we met up at the drive-in theater. She was late, though, and that was a red flag. Like, I don't mind if someone's late by, like, a few minutes. Like, even up to, like, 5-10 minutes, it's, like, understandable. Like, I really don't like that being the first impression. But if the date is good besides that, it'll make up for it. But she was late by, like, 25 minutes, and this was a movie. So I go to the drive-in theater, and I'm fully expecting to, like, pay for her as well, because in the last video I talked about it, but, like, I really don't mind, like, doing the traditional gender roles of, like, the man pays for the woman the first day. Like, that's fine. I like doing it. I like, it makes me feel like I get to, like, treat her to something, shows her that I care. I want to do this with her. So I had full intention to, pay for her ticket, but she was, like, 25 minutes late. So I'm like, okay, I'll just meet you in the parking lot, I guess. And you have to pay to get into the parking lot. So she paid for herself, but we ended up going to the drive-in theater. It was fun. I watched like the first 15 minutes alone, but once she came through, she sat in my car with me and we started chatting. And at first I was thinking to myself, like, what do you do in like a movie date when you don't really know someone? Because, well, like, I met her off Hinge, so it's not like we have a ton of chemistry from beforehand. So it was like a stranger was in my car. And I'm thinking, like, do we just watch the movie idly or do we start talking? And she was a yapper, so it made things pretty easy. But we ended up talking for like a couple hours, like well after the movie was done. The second program started, and the good thing is you get, like, when you go to the drive-in theater, at least the one that I went to, you get a ticket for one movie, but it's like a 2-movie special, so you can stay and watch the second movie if you want. And that was pretty cool. So we stayed for a lot of the second movie, but we didn't really watch it. We didn't do like other stuff as well, but we just ended up talking, and it was pretty cool. I did vibe with her. I thought she was fun and interesting, but I wrote that I would like to see her again, but it's been a week of being ghosted, so I'm like, it is what it is. That's just the name of the game. Some dates land, some don't, and well, it's probably for the best, because although, like, in the future I might be open to being like a stepdad if I'm still not cuffed up by someone, but right now, especially still in my 20s, even if it is the late 20s, it's probably not ideal. And she did have a family man as one of her number one priorities, and I don't think I would be best suited for that. Like, I love the idea of a family in the future, but I want to, like, start it with, like, my person. I don't want to just get added on, if that makes sense. Nothing against it. It's just I don't think I'm in that time in my life yet where I'm totally gung-ho for it. So it was probably best that she ended up ghosting me. She was very pretty, though, and I was like, I'll like try a second date. Maybe I'll catch more feelings, but some things just don't happen, and that's okay, because on to the next. I'll talk about the next date that happened at the very end, because that happened like 10 minutes ago, right before I got home. And, I want to go into detail about that. But what else that happened throughout the week was I ended up playing pickleball. I had, like, a few sessions of pickleball throughout the week, actually. I played with my homie from my old job, and I played with my little brother multiple times. And it's just fun. I just feel like I'm networking. Like, my old coworker, he brought along his girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister. And it's fun meeting new people, even if I'm never going to see these people again, even if these are like one-off friendships or too far extended into different friend trees. It just feels good to be put in new situations with new people. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And every single time that I've gone to play pickleball with just like one other person, we've been asked to play doubles with someone. So it just goes to show you that like these people are social, and the more opportunities I put myself in to be in situations like this, the more likely I will find new friends, just like become a part of something else. So it felt great, and I love doing it, and I look forward to doing it in the future weeks. What else that's been going on? So one of my co-workers from my current job, he came up to me like a few days ago. I want to say probably the beginning of the week, probably Monday. And he told me about keyboards, right? Like playing piano, how it was what he wanted to do for so long. And he showed me music. And this was like honestly a little out of the whim, out of nowhere. And he showed it to me, and he played like the Legend of Zelda theme from Ocarina of Time, and he played it off of his phone of him doing it on the piano keys. And I was like, dude, this is pretty sick. Like, this is good. This sounds pro. And he's like, yeah, man, it didn't take me too long either. Like, I only practiced like 10 minutes each night for like maybe a couple months. I'm like, you were an adult learner? Like, you learned this? Okay, he's 40-ish. So I asked him, like, you didn't have any experience as a kid? And he kept telling me, no, like, it's something I've wanted to do ever since my 20s. I just never got around to it. But I finally, decided to go out and try it. So he's been at it for a couple months, and now he's able to play the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, like, soundtrack. And it sounds beautiful. And he inspired me. Because at first I was, like, scrolling, like, man, maybe I should buy a new keyboard. That would be pretty cool. But I thought to myself, nah, that's an impulse buy. Like, my aunt that I'm house sitting for right now, she's a music teacher. So I just asked if I could borrow one of her keyboards. And she was like, oh, absolutely, that's fine. So I brought a keyboard home. Me and my roomie, we've been trying to just make music on the keyboards. Lots of Mario theme song. He was like playing Ode to Joy, I think is the name, like the other night. And we're just learning some music together, and honestly it's such a fun outlet, so cool. I am a sucker for anything that I can see myself progressing in, and I see this in running, I see this in chess, I see this with journaling even, like anything that I can see myself get better in. I run more miles, I run a faster mile, I get a higher elo in chess, or like I fill out multiple journals. Like, it just feels good. And music so far, like, I've practiced Super Mario Bros. 3 World 1-1. It used to be choppy, then it got smoother. Now it's really smooth, and that was only a matter of like 3-4 days. So it's interesting to think what the ceiling is with this, and I just hope that I'm able to make a habit out of it, because some habits stick, some don't. But music has always been something that's fascinated me, because growing up I played the trombone, and I wasn't too obsessed with that. I didn't really care. But like, as I entered adult years, I got a guitar. I wanted to learn guitar at one point. I actually borrowed this keyboard before at one point because I wanted to learn. Like, it's always been in the back of my mind that like this would be a cool skill to have. So now that I have some pep in my step from my coworker and some pep in my step from my roomie, maybe this will turn into something. Anyways, moving right along. I know you guys don't tune in to know if I won my chess match or not, but I'm here to tell you that I did. All right, this was another crazy chess match, and you know what? I'm going to retract the statement of saying this isn't going to be a Weather Channel or a Chess Channel update, because you know what? This is my life, so I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And chess for the last 7 weeks has always been a big part of my life, because it's something I low-key don't look forward to on Wednesday, but also look forward to on Wednesday, because I don't look forward to it because I'm like, oh, God, the pressure, the anxiety, this is tough. And then I look forward to it because it's like, I love this game, and I love doing something that, like, gives me the opportunity to play the game with more people. So it's a love-hate relationship. And last chess game that I had, it was a couple nights ago, and I played until, like, probably 10:15, 10:30. I was so tired. But he ended up resigning, and I had like 5 minutes left. And granted, I did get him in a pretty good position where he was trapped. His knight was trapped by my bishop, and he Like, it's really hard to explain, but he was in a corner trying to promote. I had my king and my bishop in the corner. His knight was trying to protect and, like, attack at the same time, but it was figured in a way where, like, I ended up winning, right? I trapped his knight. I had the king go in and start taking out his promotion to a queen and his knight, and then he didn't have enough pawns on the other end, so, like, I won. And it was a great, great victory because, like, I analyzed the game afterwards, and there were so many ups and downs. Like, this was a very complicated position, and granted, I am not even rated, so I don't know if I even have the power to say it's a complicated position or not, but it was just really fun, and I had a good time, and well, winning always feels good, so that happened. All right, I have two things left I want to discuss, and we're going to make it quick because this will be probably the major topic of my next video. So I have an overnight race happening tomorrow. At this time, tomorrow night, I will be 1 hour and 15 minutes into the race. And I say race, but I'm kind of going to treat it like an adventure because running 31 miles in the middle of the night, I've never done before. I'm not trying to do it as fast as I can. I don't think it's a smart idea to do it as fast as I can. I want to have the adventure of doing it, though. So I'm trying to frame that in my mind because I've always had the allure of, like, man, what are these overnight runs like? Like, what happens if I sign up for a race that goes deep into the night? Like, I want to have this experience. I'm terrified of it. I am so scared. I'm going to write some of my Substack tomorrow because the next Substack that's coming out is going to be the last day of July, but it's going to be basically a whole breakdown of this race. And I'm going to have, like, notes about how I felt and what I was doing to prepare before the race itself and then how I felt after. And I'm going to write all the before stuff tomorrow. I'm honestly freaking out. Like, to think that it's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be 4 hours into a race. I'm still going to have, like, I don't know how many miles left to go. Like, it could be 15, it could be 4, I could be 8 miles in. I don't know how well I'm going to do. It kind of scares, like, me to no end, but it's going to be an experience, and I want to do the experience. I don't want to live life and just live in comfort where I don't go for the experiences that give me a little anxiety, that give me pause and just make me wonder, like, why the hell am I doing this? I want to experience some things where, like, later in life I'll be able to say, yo, that was a wild story. And knowing that something like that is on the horizon for tomorrow night is exciting and also terrifying, but you'll hear all about that next week, so don't worry. But that happens tomorrow, so God, by the time this comes out, I'll actually be done with it, so that's good. But last but not least, I went to a swill burger date just now, and it ended up going, like, better than I thought. A lot of times when I meet up with girls off of dating apps, I get there and I'm like, this probably won't work. I just think she's hot, or she's not hot enough, or I know this makes me sound so shallow, but listen, this is how guys think. Either you fall in the box of, like, yeah, she's hot enough and I'll put up with a lot of things because I think she is hot, or she's not hot enough and it would be, like, I would just look silly next to her, like, I don't want to be seen next to her. Like, unfortunately, yeah, I might get a lot of hate for this, and I'm very, very sorry, but, like, that's just how the male mind works. And I might, like, if I get hated on for being authentic like that, it is what it is, but I met up with this girl, and she was pretty, and she kind of, like, matched my vibe a lot too. And I don't know, it's tough. I want to see her again. I don't know exactly how I feel. I enjoyed my time. It's confusing, but it was a lot of fun. We talked for like 3 hours, and well, I sent her a text message saying I had a great time and I want to see her again. So hopefully that ends up being well. But Swillburger is basically like an arcade joint, like Dave and Buster's, if you guys have ever been to one of those. Or I don't know another arcade joint, maybe Horizon Fun Effects or Chuck E. Cheese, but for like adults. And we played a bunch of games together, like Guitar Hero, Pac-Man, Frogger. We did some darts, we did skee ball, we did Dance Dance Revolution. We did all these fun little games. And then we also just chatted with each other, and it felt good. She runs like how I run. She is known by a couple people as the light up lady because she runs around at night. I thought that was really cool. And I don't know. Long pause. we'll see what happens. But hopefully, I get to talk about her again in the next episode. That's all. But it's been a week, and that's it. I'll see you in the next one.